You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1453. Today's tip is an excerpt from the Dressage Radio Show, featuring co-hosts Reese, Koffler, Stanfield, and Philip Parks, and their guest, Natasha Althoff, for our chat about clarity in all aspects of your training.
Well, tonight we are so happy to have Natasha from YourRidingSuccess.com. Natasha, thanks for staying on the show tonight.
So excited. Can't wait to share a tip. Let's go.
We're excited. So tell us, what is your tip for this week? We love it.
Okay. So wherever you are in your writing, whatever you're doing, what I want you to think about is clarity. I want you to have that word in your brain for the day. And what I want you to think about when you think about clarity is, am I clear on what I want? Am I clear on what that looks like? Like, will I know when I've achieved it? Let's say if it's a trot canter transition, don't just say, I hope it's a good trot canter transition. What is a good one? Does it mean that the rhythm doesn't change? Does it mean that the head doesn't change? Does it mean that the horse goes uphill into it? Does it mean that it's seamless? What does it look like? How will you know when you've done it? How will you know when you haven't done it? What's your plan for getting it? If you ask and you don't get that transition, what's your plan? If you ask and you do get that transition, what's your plan? The more clarity you have about what you want, what you're looking for, and what you're going to do, what success and not success looks like, then the more fun you're going to have.
Yeah, I think, I've heard this a lot from Robert Dover, and he was just teaching the horse mastership. So a lot of my students caught that online. And I think what's really important and what's really going to lead to success is being the more specific you can make your vision, the better it will be, or the more chance of success, like you said, don't just say, I'm going to make a canter transition. You're going to make a canter transition that has how much weight on your inside rein, how much weight on your outside rein, how much bend do you want? Like, just make a very, very clear picture, paint it in your brain before ever sitting on the horse, or as you're, I kind of do this as I'm warming the horse up, walking around. I'm like making very specific. I want to have a perfect feeling in my mind before I can create a perfect feeling on my horse.
So good. And especially, like, I don't know if anyone does this, but like, I just do it for fun. Sometimes I go, I'm not going to ask the aid. I'm just going to think it. And I'm sure my body changes because of my thought, but I go 1, 2, 3, just think canter, and boom, it's there. And you're like, how is that? Like, it's because that picture and that transition is boom in the head, and the horse goes, yep, I know what we're doing.
Well, and I think just in general, right, this is something we work on, all of us, every day, is being very clear with what we're asking. Because really, riding a dressage horse is all about communication and what you're saying. And I'm working at the Grand Prix with my new horse. He's newer to me. And I literally was looking at the video like, oh my gosh. And in the test, I went for the biggest passage I could get, and I got a great canter transition. And it was my fault. Clearly, that's what he thought I asked him. He's very happy to do whatever I asked him. And I thought, and I was just going for this huge passage, and obviously not the right aid. So, I mean, you can take it from any level. And from a training level on up to the highest level, it's all about the communication. Yeah. So it makes complete sense, right? That you need to be clear. And I think that that's so important to think about as you're writing and, well, any communication, right? Everything has to be clear. So it makes complete sense. And I think that we as riders, you get a lot of things. There's so much to think about in your brain, right? And so getting the clear aid to the horse sometimes is a challenge, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the Grand Prix, like we're like big, everything's big. And, I know for me and my Grand Prix horse, he loves the one-time tempi. So especially for the 2, I have to go 1, 2, and I have to leave my leg there. Because if I just relax the leg, well, then that means another like it's like 1, too. And so we have to be so much more deliberate about everything that we do and ask and move, because as you said, the horse is trying to, he wants to do everything we ask for. And if we move inadvertently, well, what messages are we sending?
Right. No, it's so true. Well, Natasha, tell us, where can we find more information about you and your website? We love all your information. How can we find out more?
Yeah, you can go to yourridingsuccess.com. You can, there's heaps of free resources on the website there, or you can check me out on all the social media, YouTube, Your Riding Success, Facebook and Instagram, Your Riding Success, and we also have a podcast, Your Riding Success.
We love other podcasters. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we look forward to talking with you in the future.
Pleasure. Happy riding, everyone.
And that about wraps it up for today. This podcast was made possible by our auditors. They're listeners like you. Learn how you can become an auditor and help support Horse Radio Network programming and qualify for auditors-only perks by going to horsetipdaily.com and by clicking on the Become an Auditor banner. This is Coach Jen, and I'll be back again soon with another tip. Until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.